All right, welcome back. We're going to show you our head on Doc Holliday and what we did to make this look as attractive and functional and space conserving as we could possibly find. To start with, this is the teak shower seat. It does lift up, and you can use it or not. It latches and stays out of the way. I like it down because I can put trash there. As far as the the shower curtain, there was a lot of things people had done where they use like a more solid one. I kind of like making everything look as low contrast as possible. I like to use clear things, colors that match the headliner and the interior, so it's kind of monochromatic. It makes it look bigger. You may choose to do big, bold nautical stripes. I thought it made it look a little too Hobby Lobby for my taste, and I wanted the space to look bigger. And decorators do that. They make everything kind of low contrast, monochromatic, and it makes the space look big. Since this is a very small space, let's face it, anything helps. I did use a clear shower curtain with clear hooks, hooked it up here, and it does go all the way around if you need to use it. We tied it at the bottom to keep it out of the way. Very seldom do we use this shower. I would say a couple times a year maybe, but when we're in the marina, we always use the showers. When we're out in Catalina or underway, we shower off the back transom where there's a hot shower there. I think it keeps the water content and the moisture problems at bay. Pardon the pun. Let's see here. We have not replaced this with anything because, frankly, I'm not sure what in the world is going to fit this. We'll have to research that more and see if there's anything more modern. It does work and it has a shutoff. We just don't use it very often. This right here is plastic. I did find that the suction cup caddies and little holders do work on this. I don't have any at the moment to show you, but if you wish, you can keep, a toothbrush holder or whatever here, the clear ones, and you can do it that way. I happen to put towels here, and then more hand towels. I do use, when we're underway, I use something called museum putty, so things like this don't rattle around. That is glass, this is ceramic. I do either use the putty or I stick them in the sink when we're underway. It works out fine. So we have one for Harrison and one for me. Once again, these are very tight spots. They are strangely made and they are angled. And it's anybody's guess how you're going to find a way to keep things from spilling and how to organize them. I just found a small bin for small stuff, and like here I just stick them on the outside and then use the big areas for things like hairbrushes and flat stuff, and that's how I maximize it for us. And then any kind of things like this, kind of cans, I store in that direction, and then I can get as much in here, and I can still, for the most part, find my way around what I need. That works for us. Harrison's not so much. He doesn't have as many girly things. Back here we keep plastic cups and things. I did find this is a wipes container for wet wipes. Obviously you don't flush this stuff. You always throw it in the trash, but I've had a lot of wipes that I use for makeup and whatever, and sometimes instead of toilet paper, but they dried out real fast or they kind of got funky from the opening and closing the package so much. I did find this on Amazon. It's OXO is the brand, and it has a silicone gasket, and it stays very fresh and clean, and you can see how many you have. And it has rubber feet, and it doesn't go anywhere. This was like, I don't know, 11, 12 bucks. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. Here we keep hair dryers, toiletry bags if we're going to go to the showers. Those are all kept in there. As far as underneath here, we just store anything related to laundry soap, fabric softener, spot removers, those are going to be stored under here with toilet paper, and anything for the head that is considered for the holding tank. We keep the holding tank blue juice underneath here. We did remove that medicine cabinet that was in the that I put in the galley, and we put this up here. Can't remember where I found this, probably online, but this is a nice way to hold a whole bunch of towels and washcloths. It looks nice and it's out of the way. I did take out, well, I wasn't really using the toilet paper holder that's inside this cabinet. Totally impractical to have to open this up and grab toilet paper. I didn't really like that idea. So we use this kind and just point it up. These are actually designed to go sideways, but on a boat, I thought, you know, this is pretty cool. You can just keep it there and it's not going to unravel. And then this came with the boat. Not a big fan of wood in moist places, but that's what happens. And then we keep these, we keep more, either we have the kind of camp towels that dry real fast, or we use the kind of thinner terry cloth towels. I find that thick towels in a boat, they kind of get sour because they take too long to dry in a wet environment. So that is the head. And if you like what you see, subscribe. And if you have any comments or things you did and have some tips for us, we'd like to hear it. But, you know, everybody does their boat differently, and I think this came out pretty well. You know, the Hunter has Corian countertops and a pretty good configuration for this head. You can use this as a full bathroom, and I think for the bang for your buck that you get with Legend, it's one of the reasons we liked this boat. It had a lot of neat features, amenities. It had, you know, it had the Corian, and just the way these are configured. And we've been on a lot of other boats, friends' boats, and so far I kind of like what we have on ours. I like the way it's set up. I like how this isn't in the toilet's not in a separate compartment. That kind of seems a little strange. We do have 2 doors, so when we have guests, they can use one and we can use another to access it. I don't currently have any rugs in here, so I can show you the grid. What happens is the shower runs into here, and there's a small bilge that you can push this button and it takes the water out of here. Because it's a wet environment, the hose clamps tend to rust fast, so you have to kind of maintain these and keep on it so everything stays functional. But I also don't like a whole lot of rugs because they're a trip hazard. And on a boat, you know, a lot of people keep a lot of runner rugs on these. They get dirty, they're hard to clean, and they are a trip hazard. We do have one at the bottom of the stairs, simply because that collects a lot of dirt and people track in a lot of stuff. But if you can manage to not have rugs anywhere, you're going to have a cleaner boat, and you're not going to be running the risk of tripping. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.